Okay, so this time you brought us something pretty interesting, the game of life and how to play it. Florence Scovel Shinn,
Yeah, that's the one.
written like way back, early 20th century, but it's had this quiet influence, hasn't it?
It really has. It's definitely not your standard self-help book. It's got this spiritual angle on, well, how we handle life.
Right. And what's wild is how relevant some of it still feels. You'd think something that old might feel, I don't know, dusty.
Exactly. But her main idea that life isn't this constant struggle,
Hmm.
but more like a game you can learn the rules to that's, well, it's pretty refreshing.
Yeah,
Especially, when you feel like you're just getting knocked around all the time.
totally. So for anyone listening who feels kind of stuck or just wants a different approach to challenges, without needing a fistful of Tums,
Yeah.
this deep dive is probably for you. Our mission here really is just to pull out the key stuff, the shortcuts to her main ideas, let's say.
Without needing a PhD in vintage metaphysics.
Exactly. And the core of it seems to be this idea, a really powerful one, that our inner stuff, our thoughts, words, what we really believe, it directly affects what happens outside.
It's like our minds are projectors,
Yeah.
constantly running the movie of our lives. Makes you wonder what kind of accidental horror films we've been screening.
Okay, let's dig into that. The first big insight, the power of your inner world. Shin talks about life working on like give and receive.
Yeah, basically. Think of your internal state as the starting capital, what you deposit mentally and emotionally. That influences what you withdraw as experiences. It's where it all begins.
And she gets into the different parts of the mind, right?
That's it.
Subconscious, superconscious.
The subconscious is that deep-seated stuff, habits, ingrained beliefs, the autopilot. But then there's the superconscious.
Right.
Think of that as maybe your intuition.
Like an inner GPS.
Exactly. Your connection to maybe a higher wisdom that knows the best route. It's like we've got this amazing internal Dyson system.
That we usually ignore while we're busy white-knuckling the steering wheel.
Pretty much. It's like driving blindfolded and wondering why you keep hitting curbs.
Huh. Yeah. And her point is, those negative inner states, the worry, the I'm not good enough loops, expecting the worst, she says those actually, like, fertilize the ground for bad stuff to happen. You're watering the weeds in your head.
Makes sense. So if someone's always anxious, Shin would say that anxiety probably comes from some deep subconscious belief patterns.
Yeah, that seems to be the idea.
But what does she say to do about it? Because just saying think positive can feel, well, kind of useless sometimes.
Right, good point. It's not just flipping a switch. She talks about first becoming aware of those negative patterns. Like, you got to diagnose it first.
Okay, see what the weeds are.
Yeah. Then it's about actively replacing them, using positive affirmations, visualizations, consciously planting different seeds, faith, expecting good things.
So it's really about understanding that our inner thoughts, our beliefs, they're the blueprint.
The blueprint for our outer reality, yeah.
Change the blueprint, you change the building, it shifts you from feeling like a victim of whatever happens.
To realizing you're actually co-creating it.
Yeah.
From the inside out.
Which is a perfect lead into her second big insight.
Ah, yes, the words. The power of words as creative forces. This is where it gets really practical. Maybe a little eerie, even, when you start noticing it.
Totally. She's not just talking about being polite, is she?
No, she's saying our actual spoken words, even the stuff we mutter under our breath or just think, they have energy. They do things.
It's like our words are little commands we're constantly sending out. You hear people say all the time, right? Oh, I can never afford that. I always get sick this time of year.
Uh-huh.
According to Shin, you're not just observing a fact, you're like reinforcing it, placing a repeat order with the cosmic Amazon for more of the same.
Right. It's like that person who constantly says, I'm just so clumsy, and then promptly walks into the doorframe.
Exactly. Shin would say they're practically speaking that clumsiness into being with those repeated declarations.
So her advice is basically, watch your mouth and your thoughts. Notice those habitual negative phrases.
And consciously swap them out.
Yeah, swap them for positive statements about what you do want.
Be intentional with your vocabulary. So instead of, I'm drowning in debt, maybe you affirm something like, prosperity flows to me easily and consistently.
It sounds simple, maybe a bit optimistic.
It can, yeah. But the theory is, by consistently using these positive affirmations, you're actually reprogramming your subconscious, shifting your default expectations.
Like training a muscle, the more you work it.
The stronger it gets. So, yeah, the takeaway here is words aren't just air. They have weight. They build stuff. Choose them carefully.
Like ingredients for the life recipe you want.
Well put. And building on that, Shinn also talks a lot about our inner vision, our imagination, how that shapes reality too. Which brings us to the third insight.
Right. Imagination alignment. This is where it gets even more active, I think. It's not just thinking positive or saying positive stuff.
No, it's about seeing it,
Right.
feeling it.
Yeah, Shinn encourages using imagination like a mental rehearsal room for the life you want.
Like an architect visualizing the finished building in detail before construction even starts. Your imagination creates that detailed blueprint for your future.
So you vividly imagine the goal like it's already happened. Feel the feelings of having it.
Exactly. Create that strong mental picture, that feeling state that your subconscious can then sort of navigate towards in the real world.
So if you want that new job, don't just say you want
Right.
it.
You imagine yourself in it, feeling good about the work, clicking with colleagues, enjoying the paycheck.
Yeah.
You make it feel real inside first.
And she connects this to aligning with a divine design, right? What does that mean exactly?
Well, as I understand it, it's not just about using willpower to force any specific outcome, especially one driven purely by ego. It's more about tuning in, maybe through that imagination process, to what feels like a higher purpose or natural flow of good for you.
So less fighting the current, more paddling downstream.
Kind of, yeah. Using imagination to connect with what feels right and true on a deeper level, and then lining up your thoughts and actions with that vision, it links back to the inner beliefs too.
How so?
Well, the more vividly you imagine and feel something positive is possible, the more your subconscious buys into it.
And then you're more likely to actually do the things that lead you there. Makes sense.
Exactly. So it's this combo.
Mhm.
Clear, felt imagination, painting the picture.
And aligning that picture with a sense of trust, a bigger flow, believing the universe is fundamentally on your side when your intentions are good.
That's a good way to put it. It's a powerful mix.
Okay, to really let one of these sink in, we picked out a quote from the book. It's short but potent. Shinn wrote, "Faith knows no disappointment."
Just let that sit for a second.
Yeah. It really hammers home that idea of unwavering inner belief in the good outcome you're aiming for, doesn't it?
It really does. It says so much about conviction and how doubt can just completely derail the whole process.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. Quick recap of the insights from Florence Scovel Shinn. First, your inner world is ground zero. Tend those thoughts and beliefs.
Like a garden, yeah.
Yeah.
Cultivate the good stuff.
Second, your words have power, serious power. Use them consciously, deliberately, positively. Build with them.
Choose them wisely.
And third, use your imagination. Fire it up. See and feel what you desire and align that vision with that sense of purpose, that flow. Set your inner GPS.
It really is an empowering framework, isn't it? It puts you back in the driver's seat. Suggests we have way more influence than maybe we think sometimes.
Definitely less about being tossed around by fate.
And more about understanding and using the power we already have inside.
So on that note, for everyone listening, maybe take a moment sometime soon to just reflect on this stuff. What's your typical inner chatter like? What phrases do you use all the time? What are you visualizing consciously or unconsciously?
Yeah, maybe experiment a little. What's one small shift you could try in a thought pattern or a common phrase you use? See what happens.
It's not about instant magic, or
No, it's a process. Becoming more aware of that inner world and how it connects to the outer one. Playing the game of life with a bit more intention, a bit more skill maybe.
So go out there, play the game, have some fun with it. You might actually surprise yourself with what starts showing up when you consciously work with your thoughts, your words, and your imagination.
Absolutely. Until next time, keep exploring that inner landscape.
Keep those thoughts bright. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.